The following is a Joel Michalec production.
On November 13th, Felix Unger was asked to remove himself from his place of residence. That request came from his wife. She asked him to leave because he wouldn't listen to the Joel Michalec Show.
Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to the Joel Michalec Show featuring the lovely Sharen.
Hi.
Hi, lovely Sharen.
Hi, how are you?
I'm Joel Michalec. There's the lovely Sharen playing her scratch cards.
I am.
Wow.
I'm hoping to win mega bucks.
And what have you won so far?
Nada. I
Okay.
have not won a single thing. This is crazy. These are defective cards. They need to go back.
They might be defective cards.
They
You're right.
are. I spent money on these things, and they're supposed to make me winners. This is crazy.
We're so happy you can join us again this week. We are located on the web at www.jmtalk.net and on Facebook at JM Talk and Instagram and Twitter at JM Talk Radio. So that's how you get a hold of us that way. It's a cold. The cold has come back. I think last time on the podcast we were talking about the unseasonably weather.
Mother Nature needs to make up her mind.
Yeah, but she's off her meds, obviously.
Obviously.
But
I think I need to show her where her medicine cabinet is.
But I mean, it's gotten cold and blustery. Like the last couple of days have been some really intense blustery winds to come with it.
Yeah. See, I don't mind the cold.
I
don't. But don't give me 70-degree days and then 30-degree days next to it. That doesn't work with me.
And that's I hear
either cold or warm, not mixed up all mumbo jumbo.
I hear a lot of people complain about that over the course of any given day.
Right, it's crazy.
But what's interesting is how do people, we know a lot of people who've transitioned from here to Florida.
Right.
And I always wonder what it's like for them making that transition.
80-degree weather all the time? Come on.
You wouldn't enjoy that? You wouldn't enjoy being on a well, I was about to say being on the beach, but you're not really a beach person.
I hate the beach. But
why, by the way? Why?
I enjoy
the
cold. I enjoy...
We have a campsite at the beach. Why do you not like the actual beach?
Because I don't like getting my feet wet. I'm weird. I know. I don't like it. First, I don't like getting my feet wet and then going in the sand with wet feet. That drives me nuts.
That's part of the experience of the beach.
But that's why this chick doesn't go to the beach. I don't like it. I just,
Okay.
That's how I am.
Fine.
I've always been that way all my life.
Fine.
All
right, so still, but then look at living in Florida and Christmas time. All of a sudden, you have that nice weather at Christmas. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I want
Christmas
that. I'm
needs to be cold, and the possibility of snow. Down there's no possibility of snow.
We say that Christmas should be cold, but there are people who have lived all their lives in climates where that's not the case.
Right, and good for them.
Okay, good for them. All right.
I'm sorry, I can't fathom celebrating Christmas in my shorts.
Okay.
I can't, that just doesn't work for me.
All Friday then. All right, so let us visit the save box, which is basically the box that gets saved all week long. So we have, when we get to this point in the week, we can talk to you about things that are saved.
Yay! Hence the saved box.
Yeah, thanks for the air quotes.
Air quotes, yes.
So I wanted to mention to you, and what is very interesting about this week is I tried to talk to you about a couple of the things, and you're like, nope, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
I don't. Yeah, I don't like discussing it before the show because a lot of times, as you said, you like my genuine reaction,
Right.
and
Well,
that's what I like to give you.
Well, let's see this genuine reaction because I wanted to mention to you. I wanted to tell you like 2 days ago, but glittery scrotums on dogs is the latest fashion trend.
What?
Yes.
For real? Like, don't get the dog neutered. Just throw glitter on his nuts.
No, you can still get them neutered if you want. But what I'm saying is this new trend is, yes, using corn syrup and edible glitter, to decorate their sack with.
Okay, but if they're getting their nuts chopped off...
Right, then you don't have to worry about it. Well, I'm just saying this is a fashion trend among some groomers. Thank God, not our groomer.
Right? I mean, we have Molly. She's a girl.
Well, she lifts her leg and pees like a boy.
Right? I'm so glad that they're not doing a vajayjay glitter or something like that.
Right. So the latest trend to displace the better judgment of otherwise responsible pet parents has emerged. Dog owners are covering their canines.
Glitter.
So they can lick the glitter. They can lick the
num.
and then they'll have sparkly poop.
Ew.
So you'll know exactly where your dog went to the bathroom. So you can't be blamed.
Oh my
You can't be blamed. Oh, your dog crapped on my lawn. No, it didn't, because that crap it's not shining. It's not sparkly. According to Rare.
Oh my God.
According to Rare, the trend was first introduced to the public by the Royal Paws Pet Salon, which was quick to distance itself from the flashy new treatment.
Wow. Insane.
Yeah. So the Facebook caption says, I just thought I would let everybody know the latest creative upcoming trend is glitter. Please know that I love dogs. I love doing creative, but I will not be doing this. I'm posting this simply for your entertainment. Do you want to see a picture?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so I have to click that. And there you go.
Ew. Oh, my God. People,
Isn't that terrible?
Please. That's horrible.
You know, like people...
And you made them gold glitter.
Well, there was gold, there was purple, there was... So there, you know, like we get crap sometimes because Molly has dresses and sweaters and things like that.
We want her to be pretty.
Absolutely. But never, ever.
No.
So please,
no, I gotta
be a responsible pet owner, please, and don't
and do not glitter your dogs and nuts.
Yeah, don't dunk the donuts in glitter for your dog. Don't dunk your donuts in glitter either, unless you know you're going to a fashion nudist party.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so yeah, I see. You don't want me to discuss things with you, so we'll just discuss it here.
Wow.
Are you rethinking?
This don't discuss policy.
Yeah, the don't discuss policy. Don't discuss. Don't discuss. Don't tell.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right.
I will scour.
We will discuss it
internet.
off the air.
I will scour the internet looking for things to entertain the masses with.
You could have jumped over that story, though.
So, okay.
No, that was entertaining. It really was. But it's pathetic that dog owners are doing this to their poor doggies.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's bad enough they can't put clothes on their little private areas, and it's all out for show. No, now you're going to glitter it up.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, you know, here in the first state, Delaware, two things I want to get to, and time-wise we may not, but the one thing is that Delaware lawmakers want to push back the start of school till after Labor Day.
No.
Till after Labor Day. So
hope they don't do that.
Why? So you're okay with them starting and having like 3 half days and then taking off a 5-day weekend?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. Because they get out of school before all the other kids that start after Labor Day. Like the kids in Pennsylvania and Delco, like we used to. We used to start the first day after Labor Day.
Right.
and we were in school longer. However, on the other side of the coin, in Delaware, kids have off every other
weekend.
day.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's crazy how many days off these kids have.
I was floored when I found out how long our granddaughter was off for Christmas break. Or I'm sorry, it's winter break. You're not allowed to say Christmas in schools.
Right.
And I was
That's
like,
ridiculous.
what? I mean, because...
How long was she off?
She was off. So, let's see. Monday was the 23rd because I worked. So, 22, 21. So, she was off on the 20th. And she didn't go back until... You know how New Year's fell on a Wednesday?
Yeah.
She didn't go back until the following Monday.
Wow.
Yeah.
So she went
So
back.
she was basically off half a year.
Wow, that's crazy.
But that's right to your point, though. Here in
It
Delaware,
is. Delaware, yes.
we have always said, since we've been here and had grandkids going to school, it's like you never go to school, though.
And you know what's funny?
What are you off of school today from? Oh, it's hocking, flocking, blocking day.
It's funny. My girlfriend, whose daughter just started kindergarten this year, she was complaining the other day about how often her daughter is off of school. Because whenever her daughter is off from school, she's got to go to daycare because her mother and father work.
Right.
So they have to pay per day. And it's like a ton of money per
it's
day.
astronomical.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand why schools have to take so many in-service days for the teachers.
Right.
So
And
many
really
out-service
holidays.
days for the janitors. And then so many days. Really. It's ridiculous. It really is.
Cause I saw like the school district here was hiring for an IT tech, and I was like,
You should have taken
right? Because I would be off like
You'd be
100
off
days a
all
year.
the time, right? We're like, okay, yeah, I'm off, and I'm getting paid for it.
Right. Because it's like,
my
you know, like
goodness.
Columbus Day, they get like a 5-day weekend. Martin Luther
Right.
King Day, they get like a 5-day weekend.
They had a 4-day weekend this weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Monday is Martin Luther King Day.
This coming Monday.
Yes.
Okay, so they're all right. So this is a 4-day weekend that they're on.
Yes.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Because
Absolutely. And then
I don't know.
it's ridiculous.
I'm sure
I
it's
just don't
and I'm
get-
sure it's not just Delaware that has these weird school things going on.
Yeah.
You know, but I just thought, because I thought back to our childhood, and we started after Labor Day, and I always said, the reason this story piqued my interest is because I always said since we've been here, why are they going into school for like 2 or 3 half days to then
They're
get
not
like a
half days,
3-day
though.
weekend?
They're not half days. When they start school, they started on or about the 26th of August. So they are going for the first, I guess, full week and a half before Labor Day, which gives them that extra time that the other kids who start after Labor Day, so that they can get out of school earlier.
Well, I just think you and I would agree to disagree on that. I just have a
Yeah.
different. I don't. And
I like the fact
here's the
that they
thing.
do start in August.
Okay, but if they started after Labor Day, and they didn't take off all these stupid days in the school year, and just got all their work done on the curriculum, they could be out by March.
Okay,
So-
yeah, you have a point there.
So, all right. So, realistically, though, if they started after Labor Day and they didn't take 4-day weekends for Martin Luther King or Columbus,
Right.
President's weekend, they would be out at the same time, which is early June.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But they,
there are some lawmakers that are
I
advocating
believe
for
it is
school all
by
year
law
round.
that they have to take so many days off. However, it has to coincide with the number of days that these kids have to be in school. And I believe, I don't know, 162 days or 160 days sounds familiar. I could be confusing that with the number of baseball games in a season. I don't know.
That's 162, so you're close.
I was thinking 162
Right.
when I was just saying that, but yeah.
Okay, so the other thing going on in Delaware that I wanted to bring up, and I wanted to bring this up because several months ago we reported about Colorado lawmakers introducing a bill. I think it's going into law about capping insulin prices, and a bill is being introduced here in Delaware to do the same thing, cap insulin prices at $100.
That would be awesome because you have a debilitating disease. Mm-hmm. However, you cannot afford the medication that you are required to take in order to live a healthy life. That's another thing that gets under my skin about how these people who make these medicines are raping and holding the people that have these diseases hostage.
Financially hostage, right?
They are holding them hostage.
So here's what's going on. So Representative David Bentz from Bear and Newark and Newcastle, along with other House Democrats, formally introduced House Bill 263 last Thursday in an effort to cap the cost of insulin, making the vital diabetes medication more affordable. He says, quote, "There's no easy way to say this. There is no cure for diabetes. Patients can manage the diabetes for a better quality of life, but how can they do that if insulin prices continue to soar through the roof?"
Exactly.
Representative Bentz is the House Health and Human Development Committee chairman and the lead sponsor on HB 263.
Now, we're not getting political.
Right.
This show is not about politics. This show is about venting about how idiotic our politicians are.
Right. So under proposed HB 263, people with individual, group, or state employee insurance will pay no more than $100 per month for prescription insulin, regardless of the amount or types of insulin they need to fill. The bill also addresses affordability by requiring insurance plans to include at least one insulin medication on the lower tier of the drug formulary developed and maintained by the insurance carrier. And drugs cataloged in this tier typically cost less. So this is really good news, for me and other diabetics.
Yeah, it is really good news.
And I think it should be met with nonpartisan. Like, this is not left, right, Republican, Democrat. This is your job when you go into state politics or federal politics. Your job is to work for the people. You know what I mean? Because you work for us.
But politicians don't see it that way anymore.
You said we weren't going to get political.
We're not. You're bringing it up.
I'm not just saying. So I'm saying the reason that this should this should just be passed. This should have been passed before, so this should be rushed right through.
Okay, so on a brighter note, how about I don't know. I looked up on the internet. I was looking for the predominant British newspaper. Okay. Yes, I know. I changed the subject.
Right.
But it kind of ties in. Okay. Not with the insulin. And I just want to talk about this really quick. But the British newspaper is telling Britons how messed up America is right now with the way the impeachment's going and all that. We're not talking about all that, but I did. And no, I'm talking about the Britons and their view on our politics. Okay. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
All right. Well, and that will close this segment. We're going to take a quick break. Okay. And when we come back, we got more stuff later on. An interesting hero emerges.
Oh, yeah.
And another Wombat of the Week. And if time permits, as always, one last thing. We'll be back right after this.
This is New York's Super Oldie Station, 920 WON, The Apple, Brooklyn, New York.
So I use my computer every day. I'm not even sure how I get along without it. But I wasn't prepared for a virus. A Trojan, they called it. One night I'm cruising along, and the next night I can't do anything. I was afraid it was going to cost me a fortune. Boy, was I surprised. They had me back up and running the same day I called them. I really like PC Tech Rescue, and you know what? My wallet likes them too.
Are you troubled by computer problems? PC Tech Rescue should be your very next call. Whether the problem is viruses, hardware, software, or any other issue, they can diagnose your problem and have you back up and running fast. With more than 25 years of industry experience, you can be sure you are getting dependable and affordable service. Call today, 484-429-6061, or email us at pctechrescue@gmail.com.
Welcome back, folks, to the Joel Michalec Show, featuring the lovely Sharen. Thanks for hanging out with us this week, and hopefully you're subscribing to the program. That way you don't miss an episode. We're on all the major podcasting networks, including iTunes and Pandora, to name a few. So visit the website for more information, click the subscribe button, and do your thing. So this has to be said. Okay. This has got to be said.
Got to be said. Okay.
So, making our weekly trip to Walmart for groceries, we found ourselves not being able to get a few things again. In fact, we had two choices, geographically speaking, for those. If you're listening to the show and you're in California, get your maps out. So we can either go to Elkton, Maryland, or Middletown, Delaware.
To go
to Walmart.
To a super Walmart.
Right. They're the two closest choices from here that we would make. Now, we typically do not like Elkton because they're really bad at keeping their shelves stocked.
Right. And if you want to buy something that, is taxable, you have a 5% or 6%.
6 or 7% over there.
Oh, yeah. Percent in tax. So that's why we like to go to Middletown, because as everyone knows, Delaware is a tax-free state.
Right. Sometimes, though, we go to Elkton because we're like, it is a slightly shorter, and we want to go, we want to get back. And we were toying and tearing with that decision today.
Right.
Do we go to Elkton? Do we go to Middletown? And you said to me, let's not... Will you just open the donut?
I'm sorry.
Just please don't have an issue with it this time. So we were toying with the idea of which one to go to. Mm-hmm. And you said, I don't want to go to Elkton because they never have anything.
Correct.
And I said to you, Middletown is getting to be that way too. Like when Katie and I went over, when she was home for Christmas break, we went to Middletown and we found ourselves going... we tried to blame it on the Christmas rush and everything, but so I decided to go to Middletown. We went to Middletown and we couldn't get some of our groceries.
Right.
Okay. So because the shelves are not kept fully stocked. And then later you went to a Dollar General later on today.
Right.
And you experienced the same thing. And we experienced in both places also listening to other shoppers verbalize their opinions.
Yeah, complaining.
And I even said maybe we go to ShopRite. So let's think about this for a second, lovely Sharen. If you think about ShopRite versus either of those two Walmarts now, you have to admit that they're pretty much always the shelves are full. Right,
but I knew that I wanted to pick up items that would not be available to me at ShopRite.
Right. So there's this epidemic going around in service places like stores where they can't, for some reason, keep their shelves stocked. And I think
it's not because they're busy either.
I think it's because of the constraints and low labor percentages that home offices want from their stores.
Exactly.
We know it firsthand about Dollar Tree or Dollar General.
Right.
We know it firsthand from working in that industry years ago, even years ago. And they wanted you to be 3 to 4% under the labor margin every shift.
Exactly.
And still get all this stuff done.
Right. And they had in Dollar General, they still had the massive loaded carts everywhere. So it wasn't as if they didn't have the product.
Right.
But the product wasn't getting to the shelves.
Now, last week in Walmart, we saw a machine rolling around, a robot, and we thought it was cleaning the floors. That was not true.
Okay.
I read this week that those robots are counting inventory.
Are they?
Right, but here's the thing. Those robots aren't going to stock the damn shelves.
Right.
So... Like Walmart, there was this big story that came out this week about how Walmart has put X amount of robots in to assemble the inventory that's needed on the floor, basically. It's counting the inventory on the shelves, this and that. But that doesn't fix the problem.
Right.
You want to save
you
labor.
You then have to get that said inventory on the shelves.
I remember back in the day that they would stock the shelves at nighttime, and they'd be all nice and stocked.
But you know what? These stores, these stores that are open 24 hours a day because they just got to have your almighty dollar aren't getting the opportunity to stock the shelves.
Well, apparently. But I think it's more than that. I don't think it's solely because they're open 24 hours because obviously that overnight shift has got to be slow enough to do it. So I don't think it's a 24-hour thing as much as it's greed. I think it's greed.
And laziness.
Yeah, we know there's some of that going on too.
I really think that the kids these days are uber lazy.
Oh, who are you telling?
They don't want to do anything. They're above stocking the shelves.
Right.
That's not my job.
They're above ringing customers.
Whatever happened to a pride in your company and doing it because you want your customer to be happy?
Right. Now,
that's insane that's not getting done.
I think if I remember correctly, and this means we're beating a dead horse, but I think last week we complained about something at the Elkton Walmart on the podcast.
Yeah.
Here we are complaining again. And I think we pointed out, and we hadn't been to Middletown in a couple of weeks.
Right.
They have like 4 or 5 traditional cashiers and then like 50 scan and goes.
Yeah, like you.
I mean, honest to God,
scan your own stuff.
If I wanted to, if I could stay home and order from Amazon and get food from Amazon now, like I can get groceries delivered to my door. I don't. When I go shopping, I want somebody real to be there to make sure everything's rung up right, and it's not like I don't want to have to shop and then
there's
do
any
your job.
Coupons that you may have forgotten to pull off a package,
right?
That a cashier can point out, hey, don't forget your $1 coupon off this so I can scan it at the end.
Right.
Like happened today.
Right. And I don't want to have to work. I'm not going shopping to perform a job. And
well, but a job for your home, not a job for the store.
Right. But that's one of the things they do to keep that labor pushed down. So there's not enough help to ring you out. Right. And that's why there's not a help. What do we see mostly anymore at Walmart? People in a blue vest that are shopping for other people that don't come to the stores anymore.
I know, right?
And so these are just some observations. I think we got to get back to that. I think we have to stop worrying about the bottom line so much that we want to affect negatively service to the customer. And that's what's going on in every industry. And it's getting on my nerves.
Absolutely. Mine
obviously.
Too. Right. Obviously. Because we continue to talk about it.
Right. Okay. So anyway, let's talk about our next. Well, this is probably that. I think that's the wombat of the week.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's the wombat of the week. So let's talk about Kansas for a few minutes here. Okay.
Okay, what's going on in Kansas?
And this is a couple days ago. I was laughing my ass off, and you said, "No, don't tell me." That's when you said, "Don't tell me. I don't want to know."
Oh, okay, all right.
A Kansas man has requested that an Iowa judge grant him a trial by combat so he can engage in a sword fight with his ex-wife and her attorney.
What?
I knew I was going to get this out with a straight face.
Oh, my God.
David Ostrom of Paola, Kansas, said his ex-wife, Bridget, and her attorney have destroyed him legally, according to a January 3rd court filing, according to the Des Moines Register.
Des Moines.
Thank you, Des.
What?
He asked the Iowa District Court to give him 12 weeks to find katana and wakizashi swords for his requested battle, per the Carroll Times, which first reported. To this day, trial by combat has never been explicitly banned or restricted as a right in these United States, according to the court records. So he claims in his court filing that he said it was used as recently as 1818 in British court. So the couple has been engaged in court disputes and custody and visitation rights, as well as property tax payments issues. So he said his motion also stemmed from frustration with Hudson, who argued that because a duel could end in death, such ramifications likely outweigh those of property tax and custody issues.
Oh my God.
So he wants.
Oh my God.
He wants, because apparently it's his right to do so in these United States. He wants to have a trial by combat.
So
with his ex-wife.
He had to do some extra digging to find that law. Oh my goodness. And it's an actual law. He can actually do this.
Well, Judge Craig Dresmeyer said in a Monday court filing that he won't issue a decision anytime soon.
Oh, shit.
Citing irregularities with both sides' motions and responses. I say it seems fair to me.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
And, I mean, good for him if, like, he's good at sword fighting because,
right? If not, sucks for him.
I mean...
I think the two of them ought to take lessons on how to combat.
Can you imagine having a relationship so bad with your ex?
Does this combat include guns?
No, it's a sword. It's sword
specifically
combat.
a sword combat.
Hand-to-hand combat.
All right.
It's hand-to-hand combat is what it is. So you can't use guns in hand-to-hand.
Okay. Wow, that's crazy.
I just think it's so funny that, you know.
That is awesome on his part.
Not only that it's still apparently never been removed from the books, but that somebody wants to do it. That's crazy. But then he's including the attorney. He's really mad. He's really mad because a duel is usually two people.
Right.
You know, he wants to do some shredding on that entire side of the courtroom.
Wow.
So I wonder where they have this at. Like if it gets approved, where do they have that?
Right. Well, you know the judge is not going to approve it. Come on.
But
if he does,
in some small way, though, he can't really deny it if it's on the books.
I guess. I mean, but
I think it should be televised.
I'm interested in. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I'm very interested in this.
Well, we have to figure out how do we get updates on this story.
Right.
I just find it really hard to believe. Wow. So anyway, I told you I had interest in stuff, but you don't want to hear about it until the day of the show. That was really hard to hold on to for so long. So,
wow, that's crazy.
There was I see these posts from this Facebook page called The Dodo.
Okay.
And usually involves rescue of all types of animals.
Right.
And so I'm not going to go into detail. I didn't show you this because I know you don't like this, but they were rescuing a dog that was left chained to an abandoned building.
Oh, no.
And first of all, I mean, these people that rescue these animals, you know, amazing people. Amazing people.
Yeah.
But the other thing is to watch the transformation of the animal, you know, in the video.
Right. And my heart can't take it.
Oh, I know. I'm
to
the same way.
see the animal like that. I'll look at the after.
Right, but you don't want to see the...
No, I can't. I can't.
And that's usually why I
just
won't
can't do
tell
it.
you about it or show it to you or share them with you.
Yeah.
But, the one I watched...
That's funny that you know me so well that you know not to
Well,
show
I do
me
know you so well.
Well, you do after
And only so well.
almost 25 years.
Well, at least that's closer than what you said earlier.
I was messing around.
You were subtracting time earlier.
No, I was messing around. But, yeah. I just can't do it.
Well, my comment when I saw the story, I made a comment that said, I would really like to really beat everyone to death who treats animals like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not sorry for saying that like that.
No, their animals are I'm going to say harmless, but that's not the word I want to use. They're defenseless.
For the most part, yeah.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, yeah, they can attack you and bite you, but like for people who treat dogs or even any kind of animal that way is like, all right.
There's a problem.
I say any kind of animal. I was looking, me and my YouTube. I love watching videos on YouTube and
surgical porn.
Usually
third world country surgical porn.
But this one video that really drew my attention was this vet who was taking care of a guinea pig.
Oh, there's one you were watching last night.
Yeah. And the guinea pig, the people who had it, the guinea pig had some kind of infection in all his feet and on his belly because he was in a cage that it was a cage bottom. So it didn't have anything where it could sit on there. Mm-hmm. And the cage was never changed, never cleaned.
That'll do it.
You know what I mean? So, and just to see what he did to help this guinea pig, was incredible. I was amazed.
Yeah.
So it's any kind of animal, that I can't tolerate injustice being done to them.
Right.
I just can't.
Which is why I'm, if I'm not mistaken, fairly recently it became a felony to abuse animals nationally.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Instead of a misdemeanor. I think it should be more than that. I mean,
I think an eye for an eye.
Right.
I am a firm believer of an eye for an eye, man. You hurt an animal, you get hurt the same way.
Right. Wow.
Yep.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Do you want a sword?
Hey, I'll take one with these people that hurt these animals. Okay, but lighten up the show.
I'm going to lighten it up. I'm going to lighten it up with a commercial break.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, that was getting a little too intense for me.
So, coming up after the break, we have Honor Thy Heroes, and which is an interesting one. We have Wombat of the Week, which is an interesting one. And if time permits, one last thing. But in the meantime, we're going to go get a drink. The lovely Sharen is going to say farewell.
Farewell.
And Miss Molly is waiting for the lovely Sharen. So
yes, she is.
Timing-wise, this all works out perfectly.
Absolutely.
Thanks for hanging out.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for fixing my finger today, too, after I tried to chop it off.
Yeah, I had to play nerves.
Yeah, been a while.
Awesome. Yeah.
So, all right, folks, I'm coming back.
All right, bye,
after
guys.
This break. Bye.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Broadcasting from a crummy little studio in Baltimore, Maryland. This is Reality One Radio.
You see why we need your donations?
Welcome back to the show, folks. It's the Joel Michalec Show featuring the lovely Sharen. And welcome to the third segment of the show, the final stretch, the last piece, whatever you want to call it. That's what it is. And here we are. Sharen has gone for the show, but I'm here, and I have a couple of things that we do in this segment. We do a segment called Honor Thy Heroes, where we honor everyday heroes, which is going to take a really big twist this week. And we also do a segment called Wombat of the Week, and where we share a news story of stupid people doing stupid things, and we'll tell you how you can get involved in that coming up here in a moment. And if time permits, and hopefully it does, then one last thing, our newest segment, where just a final piece of information before we go. So there you have it. That's the lineup, so settle in. I'm going to move right into Wombat of the Week. Now, if you want to get involved in Wombat of the Week, it's very simple. All you have to do, if you're new to the show, this is how you do it. Just send us an email to joelmichalecradio@gmail.com, or you can just send us a message on Facebook at JM Talk, or on Twitter or Instagram at JM Talk Radio. And send us a news link of stupid people doing stupid things. And that's how you get involved with the Wombat of the Week. Now, this was an interesting Wombat of the Week. And it has to do with a school in Kentucky who expels a student for wearing a rainbow shirt and having rainbow cake at her birthday. Yes. And the family is reporting that the former private school student was expelled for wearing a rainbow-colored shirt celebrating her birthday with a multicolored cake. So when on her 15th birthday, they went out and they had dinner and they had the cake and a birthday party and everything. And the girl's mother, Kimberly Alford, recorded the video of her daughter smiling and laughing before blowing out the candles on the cake, etc., etc., and then posted the video to Facebook, which is what we all do, right? We all post videos and stuff to Facebook. So being shared with different people, including some staff at the school, the Whitefield Academy in Louisville, Kentucky. Afterward, the school sent a letter to the family saying that the 15-year-old was being expelled effective the 6th of January for a continued breach of the Whitefield Code of Conduct, which was discussed in person on October 17th, 2019. Alford says she also received an email saying that her daughter's behavior demonstrates a posture of morality and cultural acceptance contrary to that of Whitefield Academy beliefs. She also said that her daughter's email was in reference to the post on social media, while the school said that Kenny violated the student code of conduct numerous times over the past 2 years. So, the school's code of conduct addresses sexual orientation and notes that the student's off-campus behavior is supposed to be in line with the beliefs of the facility. So this kind of goes to what we talked about here and there, and about how what you do on your own time. You know, it used to be, there was this saying, it was what you do at home is your own business, or something like that. I forget what the exact saying is, or was, because it was now, because it doesn't matter, you know. And this is going on all over the place. Your job wants you to, they monitor what you do on your own time. Now schools monitor what you do on your own time. And the thing is, the problem with that is that it's open interpretation. Okay? According to the family, when they ordered the cake, it was a assorted color layered cake. Okay? And the girl happened to be wearing a rainbow colored shirt. And this, so it's an open interpretation, right? The school can say, well, these are symbols of the LGBT, right? And they can interpret it that way, which they did. And in fact, after all of the ruckus,
I'm sorry to interrupt. What?
Right? After all the ruckus, the school then withdrew the expulsion and changed it to a voluntary, what's the word that was used? They changed it to, I had it right here, a voluntary withdrawal so that it doesn't look bad on the girl's school record going forward. But this is the problem with what you do on your own time is no one's business but yours, because that's not true. And the problem with that is it is open to interpretation by the eye of the peeker, because that's what it is, right? That's what it is. If you involve yourself in someone else's social life, and then you want to interpret how that behavior is, and then you're peeping. You're peeping into their life. Stay out of it. We'd like to say that, but this story does nothing for me but reinforce the fact that I knew it was happening in the workplace all over. We've heard about this years ago from a colleague, and now we're seeing it where you can't go out and have a birthday party in a restaurant and film it and put it up without someone interpreting what they think they see and then taking the most drastic action with it. So to me, and of course, this is open for opinion because this is our show, right? So I'll have the opinion I want. Oh, here comes Sharen again. Didn't you leave?
No, but you know what? I can't stay away.
Okay.
I can't.
Want to sit on my lap?
I will.
Now, someone might interpret that as something.
Well, I have to say, it is none of the school's business.
Right.
What this family does in their home.
I agree, but my point is, though, that is going away fast and furiously. So, in our opinion, in my opinion, and in the show's opinion, this school is the wombat of the week. Like Sharen said, stay out of their business. And hopefully the family can move on. Hopefully they can enroll her in a school that doesn't look at what you do on your own time. And, listen, I get it. In the workforce, I get it a little more than this, because you look at like the NFL's policy. You have to, on your own time, you still represent the NFL. And at work, on your own time, maybe you're out and about, maybe you're wearing the jacket of your employer. It's a representation. Whatever, I get that. Leave the kids alone. Let kids be kids, damn it. But anyway, so Whitefield Academy, sorry, you're the wombat of the week. So remember, folks, get me in the stories of stupid people doing stupid things, and we will get it on the air, no doubt. No doubt at all. So I'm going to take a quick sip of the tea. For all those with the theater of the mind thing going on there. Quick check of the time. I want to move on to, I said that we have a very interesting twist on Honor Thy Heroes. And it really is. We want to thank our culinary correspondent, Sean Goward, for sending this one in and the suggestion to run with it, which I thought was an extremely incredible idea. And he texted me and he said, what if a wombat was a hero? And before I saw the link, I was trying to figure that out in my mind going, so an idiot be the hero? But no, and I saw the story and then I saw what he was talking about. He was talking about, early on when we started this show and we talked about the first couple weeks, we talked about, hey, if you're new to the show, we call idiots wombats, but wombats they're really a very cute little furry creature. And including other places, they hang out in Australia. So what he had sent in, and I agreed wholeheartedly, because especially we're talking about animals. Animals are amazing creatures, and he sent in a great story about how wombats are the heroes of the Australian fires because they're sheltering animals, small animals, in their burrows. Wombats, they dig and they burrow and they make tunnels underground, and that's how they live. Okay? And so a documentary filmmaker named Peter Hylands, he visited the burnt landscape of the Cabargo Wildlife Sanctuary, and he told Yahoo News that you've got animals that are completely unscathed, and those must be the animals that have been underground. It's the only explanation when the fire zones are so extensive. So also, Wombat Rescue Manager Yolandi Vermack also said, at most there would be animals fleeing into burrows. She says, I've seen, and I can't pronounce some of these animals' names. She has seen, she's seen small animals going into burrows, including lizards and skinks and rabbits, those sorts of things. And she says she even saw a small wallaby living in a burrow. She also said that she hasn't seen a single burnt wombat during her rescue missions, and instead has discovered a series of survivors, wombats and other small species, hiding in the tunnels. So I think this was a great idea. We sort of look high and low for heroes every week, and this time, after we've been talking about, we've been watching carefully what's going on with Australia and the wildfires there, all the arrests that were made because it turned out it was arson. And, and now as areas are being put out and the extensive damage is now being checked out and everything, and now what we see is underground. We have a hero emerges from underground in the form of a wombat, which is like I don't even know how Sean found a story like this, but it works. It works excellently. And it also shows you just how amazing animals are. The animal kingdom is amazing. And you need to look no further than this story here. So, and maybe it's a little serendipitous because wombats are, their namesake goes to our Wombats of the Week, that we honor them this week as, the heroes of the animal kingdom in Australia, because they are saving small creatures that, will survive. It could have been much worse if you think about it. If they didn't have these tunnels that they burrow underground for small creatures to seek shelter, and it just pains me to think of the creatures that have been harmed in these fires. But this week, yes, we're honoring the wombats down in Australia on Honor Thy Heroes. So thanks, Sean, for sending that in. Appreciate it, and the tip to do so. I mean, it was it's just an amazing twist. I said we had a twist this week, and that is the twist. So that brings us to, we have enough time, one last thing. And one last thing is this. If you're not aware, Windows 7 was laid to rest this past week. So Windows 7 is now not being supported at all by Microsoft, which means that it's risky to use it. It doesn't mean it's not going to work and not going to boot up, obviously. The same lesson here are the same lessons that you learned or ignored, whichever, when Windows XP died. It's just riskier to use. As long as you... Well, really, the first and foremost, you should not use it or use it for as little time as possible. You should really get into the Windows 10, or if you're going to move to Linux or Mac or whatever you're going to do, you really should get out of Windows 7 as soon as possible, because that is the safe way to go. Otherwise, to tell you the truth, there's probably still almost 15% of people still functioning on Windows XP. And that's because they don't want to give up something that they're used to, something that works. Of course, over time, other things will stop working with it. But, so, back to Windows 7. Until you get out of it, you just want to be really careful and make sure you have really good virus protection. Virus protection that is checking real time what's going on, updating automatically, and scanning every day automatically. Okay? Because what happens is, now that Windows 7 is no longer supported by Microsoft, the issue with that is all the hackers that write malicious code are going to be exploiting all the flaws that come up in Windows. Typically, when you get your updates from Windows, it's because they're patching flaws, and sometimes they'll put out ones that were outside that Patch Tuesday type window because they want you to be safe. Well, none of that happens anymore. So the minute a flaw is picked up, and then all the malicious actors on the dark web start chatting with each other, they're going to attack the living hell out of that exploit in Windows 7, which puts you at risk. So really what you want to do is you want to get off of Windows 7 as soon as you can. But if you have to still use it, okay, there are two ways you can do it. One, as I just described, make sure you stay safe, have a good antivirus, good anti-malware, make sure you monitor it, and you just stay safe. The other way is, some people say, well, I don't want to upgrade or I can't upgrade because I have a program or two or three that will not run on anything but Windows 7. And that's okay, because under Windows 10, you can run a Windows 7 virtual machine. And there's several third-party applications that help you do that. If you're not sure what a virtual machine is, very simply put, it's like running Windows on Windows, okay? Or running any OS through your OS, really. So you would boot up into Windows 10, your computer's protected because you're on a modern operating system, etc. And then you very simply build this virtual machine for Windows 7, utilizing some of your memory and some of your space, and then you open that almost like another app on the computer. And then your programs that you need to run with Windows 7 can be safely run in that. Okay? So I know that's probably a lot of information for you, but it was really just meant to briefly tell you, hey, you can do this if you have to, for that reason. But if it's not for that reason, I would just get off of Windows 7 and move on. That way you're safe, you don't have to worry about, because you'll always be worrying, and you don't want to do that. So there you have it. So Windows 7 is dead, as far as Microsoft's concerned. Dead as a doornail. No more updates. It is in the Microsoft graveyard. So that's one last thing. I want to remind everybody. I want to first of all thank everybody for listening to the podcast this week. We're very happy that you found us. Be sure to visit us at www.jmtalk.net. You can read the news, check out the social media feeds right on there, hit up the blog, and most importantly, you can listen to the latest show right there on the front page and subscribe to the program. And if that's not enough, you can listen to us 24/7 by accessing the 24/7 stream right there on the front page of the website. Otherwise, we're at Facebook at JM Talk, and we also sit over there at Instagram and Twitter at JM Talk Radio, so we hope to see you there. Meanwhile, until we meet up again next time, be good to each other, pick up 3 pieces of trash while you're out and about, and be kind to animals, please. We'll catch you next time, folks. Bye-bye.